New this morning, an apartment fire sends residents rushing out of their homes in the middle of the night. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres live in Hermitage. Matthew, anybody hurt?
Amy, nobody was hurt by the time firefighters arrived here on the scene. All of the residents really were out safely, and that's thanks to a Metro police officer who was at the right place at the right time. We are just outside Canyon Ridge Apartments right here on Central Pike in Hermitage. That officer was driving down Central Pike when she saw smoke coming out of a second floor unit at one of the buildings. Immediately called 911 and of course alerted the residents inside and helped out any way that she could. This all took place around 2 o'clock this morning, and as you get to see from the video, just the type of response this called for from firefighters. Now, from what I am told, it started in the storage unit and firefighters kept it contained in the storage unit. The flames did not spread to any part of the building, so that's really the good news as well. Unfortunately, 3 residents are now homeless temporarily, being assisted by the American Red Cross because of the significant water damage. Not only were the apartments, the fire started in that unit, but the bottom unit as well. You can see from the video there was the standing water, but we are told it's really just water damage from the water sprinkler system. Overall, things are going to look okay for the complex. I'm told by the manager that they should be able to fix everything. Reporting live in Hermitage, I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
All right, Matthew, thanks a lot. Officers are looking for 3 suspects in a deadly home invasion in East Nashville. News Channel 5's Kimberly Davis has been working this story all morning long. You're at the Metro Police Department's East Precinct. And Kimberly, what are police saying about these suspects? Were they actually targeting this home, or do we know?
Steve, good morning. Unfortunately, these suspects were in the wrong home, and the victim who died in this situation, he came over to help his neighbors and trying to save their lives. In this horrible situation, he lost his own. Police tell us he died on the way to the hospital after he suffered a pretty serious gunshot wound. Now, police officers are telling us this all happened Thursday afternoon. 3 armed men burst into a mobile home off Dickerson Pike demanding drugs. 30-year-old Anthony Jacobs confronted the men and was shot and killed. Jacobs lived at that mobile home park and also worked as a maintenance man. Those who knew him say he always tried to help people, and they aren't surprised he responded the way he did.
I always raised them to help take care of kids and the elderly, and to try to help people was the main thing, and that's all he was doing, was trying to help.
Police tell us that those 3 armed suspects took off in a royal blue vehicle. They're saying it could either be a newer Toyota or a Hyundai sedan. If you have any information that could help police in their investigation, they're asking that you call Crime Stoppers at 615-742-7463. For now, we are live at the East Precinct. Kimberly Davis, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Kimberly. Just 1 hour after being added to the state's most wanted list, a suspected child predator ended up behind bars. John Lamb was captured yesterday afternoon in Rutherford County and is accused of sexually assaulting a young girl in Laverne earlier this week. Lamb faces several charges.
New this morning, a Murfreesboro man's behind bars facing criminal simulation and odometer fraud charges. You don't see that very often, do you? Police say that Michael Marks, pictured right there, sold at least a couple of cars on Craigslist. But here's the problem. The odometers had been rolled back. Tennessee Highway Patrol arresting him last week, and a victim confirmed his identity. THP wants any of Mark's possible victims to step forward. They say he may have done this in other instances. If you believe you purchased a vehicle from him, call 615-251-5185.
Happening right now, detectives are searching for a 16-year-old believed to be involved in a violent carjacking that nearly took a woman's life. Zakari Tennant is wanted for especially aggravated robbery and unlawful gun possession. The crime happened back in November outside of the Apache Trail Apartments in Antioch. The victim says 2 gunmen stole her car keys and opened fire, leaving her with serious injuries. Call Metro Crime Stoppers if you know where Tennant might be.
And happening today, the man accused of killing a 13-year-old girl in a drive-by shooting is going to be in court. Joseph Hendry, charged with first-degree murder, and here he comes into the courtroom there. Investigators say he shot more than a dozen rounds for some reason into a home in Lebanon back in January 2015. Well, one of the bullets went through the wall, hit and killed 13-year-old Ciasia Watkins. She was asleep. She died 3 days later. Look for updates on today's hearing on our app and on newschannel5.com as well.
New information on a bomb threat that prompted the evacuation of a Mount Juliet Walmart for nearly 2 hours. Police tell us a 10 and 11-year-old were the ones that called in 2 threats as a prank. As of right now, they're not facing any charges.
You ever drive through downtown Nashville with all of the construction going on? You're driving right by all of these big cranes and you wonder, hope nothing happens. Well, it did yesterday. A portion of the building collapsed onto the street and onto a passing car. Take a look. This happened just before 9:30 yesterday morning at a construction site right there at 10th and Mumbrian. Crews have been working to tear down the old Methodist Publishing House building for several weeks now. The high-rise portion has been gone. Now they're working on the parking garage. Yesterday, the older structure partially collapsed onto the street. It downed some power lines, and Kimberly Nichols' catering truck was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It was just this big, huge boom and, you know, rubble flying everywhere, and everything stopped. Traffic stopped immediately. People stopped. It was an unbelievable scene.
What a mess. There it is. There's what's left of the truck. Nichols was rushed to the hospital. She was alert. She was talking. She should be just fine. TOSHA, which is the Tennessee Occupational Safety Health Administration, they're investigating the company Demo Plus about the incident. In fact, that company's been fined by the agency in the past.